Hello! My name is Daniel Francis, and this is my best friend, my girlfriend, and my co-host,
Katie Ludlow, and I am a Swiftie.
And I am not. And this is...
Our songs.
Our films.
Each episode, we watch and rate a different Taylor Swift music video.
And try to objectively judge something that is inherently and deeply subjective.
This week, we'll be taking a look at the music video for I Don't Want to Live Forever. Let's start by sharing our personal perception scores, which, as a reminder, is the score we give before we get into the nitpicking and the final grading. It's our gut reaction.
Yeah, right after we listen to or watch the music video.
Right. So, Daniel, what's your personal perception for I Don't Want to Live Forever?
My personal perception was a 7 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a 6, but I liked it.
Okay. I gave this a 1.5. So...
Wow, it's going to be one of those episodes, huh?
Yes, it is going to be. I thought about giving it a little bit higher, but I would type in a score and then I'd look at it for a minute and then I'd be like, no. And then I'd type in another score and I'd look at it for a minute and it never felt right until I typed in 1.5. So
all right.
That's where I left it. Let's get into our background info. I Don't Want to Live Forever was written by Taylor Swift, Sam Duke, and Jack Antonoff, who also produced the song. The song was written for the soundtrack to 50 Shades Darker, which is the sequel to 50 Shades of Grey.
Which is the movie adaptation of the novel 50 Shades of Grey, which is a fan fiction of Twilight.
Oh, it is?
It started out as.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
For those of you who are living under a rock, or just, maybe aren't part of American cinema, 50 Shades of Grey is this very erotic story about a woman who gets pulled into her boss's little sex dungeon. I have no intention to see this movie.
Me neither. It seemed awful.
Yeah. What else did you have?
It was released it was written for the soundtrack, and was released as a single on December 9th, 2016. Entertainment Weekly gave this song a B+ rating, which I thought was interesting. All right, we're giving grades now. And they said, "Welcome to Taylor Swift's sexy side," which I felt like was appropriate considering that up to this point, she'd kind of been not a goody two-shoes by any means, but she hadn't really done anything like this.
When was this released again?
This was between 1989 and Reputation. In 2022, Insider ranked I Don't Want to Live Forever as Taylor's second best soundtrack song, behind Safe and Sound, which was written for The Hunger Games. Upon its release, I Don't Want to Live Forever was only available on iTunes and Tidal, which I have never heard of, and it was not added to Spotify until the following week. In that first week, before it got uploaded to Spotify, this song sold 188,000 copies in addition to a 25 million radio audience and 3 million streams.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. This song debuted at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100, and that made it Zayn's second top 10 solo song, and Taylor Swift's 20th top 10, making her the 16th artist and 6th woman to achieve this.
Ooh.
The song later reached a new peak of number 2, ranking just below Ed Sheeran's Shape of You.
Going back to the Billboard Top 100, it said Zayn's top solo song?
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Zayn was originally a member of One Direction.
Yes.
So One Direction had plenty of top songs.
I was confused because he's not solo in this.
No.
Okay.
No, so in his solo career.
Right. I see. Not as a solo singer.
Right.
I see.
Right.
Okay.
Right. On the Billboard Digital Song Sales chart, the song debuted at number 1, and this was Zayn's 4th song and second solo song to top the chart, and Taylor's 11th tying her with Katy Perry for the second most chart toppers, just under Rihanna, who had the first place.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was all 6 years ago, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
In the year that this was released, this was Zayn's second song to top the chart. So he was one of 2 artists that year to have 2 chart toppers, the other person being Drake.
Well, now Taylor does that every
Taylor does that all the time now.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
You know.
All right. All right. I guess nowadays that feat doesn't sound nearly as significant.
This was a lot of like big firsts and whatever for Taylor and Zayn for some reason.
Okay.
Across European charts, the song debuted at number 1 in Spain and Sweden, becoming Taylor's first number 1 single in both countries, and Zayn's first number 1 in Spain and second in Sweden. I Don't Want to Live Forever reached over 1 million sales by July 2017 in the US alone, and almost a year later, the song was certified 4 times platinum in America for selling over 4 million units.
Wow.
The song was nominated for Best Song Written for Visual Media at the Grammys and won Best Collaboration at the 2017 MTV Video Music Awards.
Yeah.
As well as Best Collaboration of the Year at the 2017 MTV Millennial Awards.
Oh, for the millennials out there. Okay.
And they also won an iHeartRadio Titanium Award for this song.
Titanium. That doesn't sound as good as platinum.
I believe it's like you've reached a certain number of plays on iHeartRadio, which for some reason, I might be wrong, but I believe they call plays spins on iHeartRadio. So once you've reached a certain number of spins, then you get a Titanium Award.
Okay, they gotta have all their own names.
I know.
Yeah, this is iHeartRadio, and we have our own little quarter. That's ridiculous. Honestly, I have never used iHeartRadio.
Me neither.
I don't know who does.
I don't either. This was the highest charting single in the 50 Shades franchise, followed by Halsey's Not Afraid Anymore, which only reached 77 on the Billboard Hot 100, so it was quite a jump from number 1 to number 2.
I mean, I Don't Want to Live Forever was and still is pretty much everywhere on the radio.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I have listened to the song over and over again, not intended for this podcast.
Right.
And so I'm not surprised that it's got 4 million, radio whatnots.
It is retail's favorite song. Maybe topped only by Shape of You by Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
And also, the sad thing is, I've heard this song 1,010,000 times, and I still have no idea what the words are.
What the words are? Yeah. Well, Zayn doesn't do a good job.
I've even looked up the lyrics multiple times,
Wait, really?
and I still have no idea.
Oh, just like you have not memorized the...
Right. The music video of I Don't Want to Live Forever was released on January 27th, 2017, just a few weeks before 50 Shades Darker was released on February 10th. The music video was directed by Grant Singer and was produced by Saul Germain and was named the 4th best music video of 2017 by Vivo. I Don't Want to Live Forever was posted on... the music video was posted on both Zayn and Taylor's YouTube accounts at the same time and was later uploaded through the official 50 Shades account as well. As of the recording of this podcast, the video has received 128 million views on the 50 Shades account, 178 million views on Zayn's account, and 699 million views on Taylor's account.
I'll say I'm looking at the YouTube video right now, and it says 700 million.
Oh, really? So,
I don't know if it's different for you or not. But...
Well, I mean, I wrote this like 3 days ago, so maybe it's changed since then.
I just refreshed, and it's still 700 million.
Wow, 700 million. So that is quite a jump from
the middling 200 million. Yeah.
Right. The total views for this is 1,500,000,000.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get into our synopsis, unless you have anything to say about this.
I don't really have much to say about it. No, let's
Just
get
that
into
it's
it.
your favorite video.
It's my favorite video ever, and I have nothing bad to say about it. Now we'll get around to it.
Okay. The video starts with a black car pulling up. Okay, wait, before we get into this,
Oh, okay,
sorry, this just reminded me. I did not want to write the synopsis to this, so I thought maybe Wikipedia has a synopsis, because sometimes Wikipedia has an okay synopsis, and it literally was like like a fifth grader writing what they did for the weekend.
Wow.
And then Zayn goes to his hotel room and he's singing, and then Taylor comes out and then she sings, and then they turn around and like it just was like, my gosh.
It's a constant stream of information and
right, and it was only like 4 lines long. It's
ridiculous.
Like, great. Okay.
Yeah.
I said I should submit my synopsis.
Oh yeah.
To Wikipedia.
Maybe, I don't know. I've never edited a Wikipedia page before, but I can't be too hard, right?
I had a friend in high school who started making little edits on Wikipedia because he wanted to become a credible source so that he could create his own Wikipedia page. And he made his own Wikipedia page for this girl that he wanted to ask to the prom or something. And so he made a Wikipedia page about her and asked her to prom on it. And it stayed up for like a week and then it got taken down. But he worked on Wikipedia for like a year so that he was credible enough to make his own Wikipedia page.
And then I bet it ruined his entire credibility and he couldn't work on it anymore.
Yep.
All right. But did she say yes?
Oh yeah, she did.
Okay.
They were friends,
okay,
so it was
good.
fine. But it was something.
Anywho.
Okay, so for reals this time. The video starts with a black car pulling up to park on a rainy night.
Rainy night.
Rainy night. There are cameras flashing at the car before it's even been opened, and we get a shot of a crowd of paparazzi all trying to push their way forward to get a picture of whoever is in this car.
Spoiler alert, it's Zayn.
It's Zayn. We look back at the car to see former One Direction star Zayn Malik, who wants to just be called Zayn now. His solo career name is Zayn.
All capital, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But
ZAYN.
But for those of you who didn't know, it's Zayn Malik.
It's Zayn Malik.
He emerges from the car, and he's got a chauffeur following behind him with an umbrella. All of the shots in this first verse and chorus are super slowed down, and Zayn's walking so slow, and I was like, there's no way he's actually walking that slow. And so then I sped it up thinking maybe they just like slowed him down.
Yeah.
No, he's walking like that.
I gotta do this.
It's weird. Or maybe I have that backwards. Maybe it's the other way around. I actually should have watched this right before. But the moral of the story is it looks really weird to me.
He's just sauntering. I don't know why walking slow is a
Well,
an
it
issue.
looks like he's like each step he has to like pull, like, okay, so you know when you're walking up the stairs and rather than just letting your feet take your weight, you're like using the banister and you're pulling yourself up each step. It's like he's walking like that. I don't know. That's the closest thing I can describe. It looks weird.
He's just kind of he's swaying. That's I don't know. He's got a swagger. I'm not.
It's when I speed it up. That's what it is.
Well, then don't speed it up.
Well, he walks so slow.
He walks slow because he's so sad.
He walks slow because there's nothing else happening in this video.
There's plenty of stuff happening in this video.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Zayn is
you're entitled to your rating. But just because he's walking slow, I don't think constitutes a bad music video.
No. I'm not saying it's a bad music video because he walks slow. I don't know. I don't know. I was playing around with it.
Okay.
Zayn enters the building he's at and begins singing. And I wanted to ask you, Daniel, do you recognize this building?
I don't recognize this building.
Okay, so this is I'm gonna slaughter this name. And it's not even hard. It's the St. Pancras Renaissance London Hotel. And I feel like it can't possibly be called Pancras.
Pancras.
But that is what it says.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Sure. I don't know.
Okay.
That's why I said I'm going to slaughter it.
How's it spelled?
It's literally pancreas, but without an E.
Pancras.
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 The St. Pancras Renaissance London Hotel. In London.
In London.
This hotel has been seen in a lot of media, and I made a list of some of its more notable uses. The first is the Arkham Asylum stairwell in Christopher Nolan's film Batman Begins. Was filmed inside this hotel.
Okay.
The staircase was also used as the setting for Misselthwaite Manor in the 1993 film production of The Secret Garden. The hotel is seen, and this is probably the most notable where people would recognize it from. Mm-hmm. The hotel is seen in the background of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and is used as King's Cross in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which has confused many tourists who are looking for King's Cross.
No way.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
They didn't go to King's Crossing to
I guess not.
to film the King's Cross. Which movies were those?
The second one, it's seen in the background, and the last one, it's used as King's Cross.
Oh, and like the
part
after
2.
death.
I'm not sure
scene.
where it. That's just what it had listed.
Interesting.
So yeah, it is a pretty popular little place.
That's cool.
So Taylor Swift probably knows Daniel Radcliffe now, and they're best friends.
Yeah,
and he took her to Hogwarts.
Because she showed up at
King's Cross.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
if anyone's a wizard, celebrities have to be.
Exactly.
I mean, how did they get that rich?
Exactly.
How did they get that popular?
That's what I'm saying.
They're casting Imperio curses throughout the music. Mm-hmm. Slow it down, play it backwards.
It's all subliminal.
It's all subliminal. They're casting Imperio.
So ZAYN is just walking really slowly through this hotel, and he passes a bar. There's some people, before he passes this bar, someone comes up behind him and, like, grabs him on the shoulder. He turns around, and they start taking pictures right in his face, and someone comes up, it looks like a security guard, and takes the guy away, and ZAYN turns back around and keeps walking.
I'd like to point out that we already have establishing shots of the color theme for this video.
Okay.
As soon as he walks through the door, there are red lanterns and then other lanterns that have like a green sheen to them.
Uh-huh. That's
and
fair.
That's going to be the at one point it will be blue as well. Mm-hmm. But those are the main colors for this.
Right.
In other uses of those colors, those are usually like lust and envy, but I don't see envy in this video or in the music. I think maybe it's more of anguish or something like that.
That's fair. Yeah, so ZAYN passes like a bar. There's people walking around doing their own thing in this hotel, and he makes his way to an elevator. And really fast, I want to throw out what ZAYN is wearing for this video. It's super simple. It's just like a black suit with black button up. It's all pretty form-fitting, and he looks very good in it.
He looks good.
He is an attractive man.
He's a very attractive... He's attractive. I'll say it.
I'll say it. I'll be the first to say it.
I'll be the first to say it. ZAYN is kind of good looking. You know?
I was never a One Direction girl, but whenever I looked at pictures of One Direction, I was like, he's definitely the attractive one.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Styles is attractive because, you know...
He's come into his attraction.
He's come into his attraction a lot. I'm not a huge fan of his style, but that's like his thing.
I love his style.
I don't know. It's just...
That's one of the things I'm most attracted
weird to. Is what it is, and for me...
It's flamboyant.
It's flamboyant, and that's the point. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't, you know, speak to me as much. I don't vibe with it. But yeah.
Right. Anyway, at the end of the first chorus, ZAYN gets to the elevator, and it's lit red inside, and he walks on, and the light fades to green, and then back to red, and it just kind of... I really liked this shifting of colors, because it really embodies the... when I feel like I am washed away in my emotions and like I'm in anguish, I want to
I find my emotions to just sway so far left and right, and I feel like my entire surroundings, my entire perspective is changed in hue, you know. And so it gave me that sense of feeling of being unmoored, as I am when I'm at my worst. Anyway, but I liked the oversaturated shifting of color in this. It felt nice.
Okay.
It spoke to me.
Before we get any further into the video, I would like to comment on ZAYN's lip syncing ability. He's fine. He's with the music, but he is barely moving his mouth. There is no freaking way that he's even saying the words.
Yeah.
It really bothered me. Like, it didn't super bother me the first watch through, but the more I watched it, I was like, move your mouth.
Yeah. I said, spoiler, this is for my performance rating later. I won't give the score, but I said Taylor's pretty good, but ZAYN is a shade too stoic for my taste. Perhaps he's trying to hide his emotion while in public. Perhaps it's the British mantra of a stiff upper lip. I just wish I had gotten a little more from him.
Same.
And yeah, I think it's that exactly. His lip syncing is maybe he's too enmeshed in the character of it.
Maybe.
And he's not forgotten, but he doesn't care as much about what he looks like while singing it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he could have had the best of both worlds still.
I agree.
But yeah, I agree.
When it bothered me the most was when he would get to the I don't wanna live, and it's like that really high moment where it's obviously the top of his range, and he would not be able to sing that without like
without some kind of other body movement.
And he barely was opening his mouth, and I was like, girl.
and that's the time where you're like, I don't know, squeezing your eyes shut, like, I don't want
right, there was nothing there.
There's nothing.
Anyway, so the camera pans away from ZAYN, and it does a full 360, landing on...
In the elevator.
Landing on Taylor, who is standing exactly where ZAYN was, and she is being lit green. Taylor's wearing what looks like a black silk robe with a black lace bra, and we can just see the top of that. And she's got a chain for a necklace that is either on backwards or it just has like one half of the chain hanging down a little bit lower, and I'm not really sure. I'm not a jewelry girly. And she has got a glamorous red lip. A glitter red lip.
Glittered like there are sequins on this.
It's glittery. And I want to say, this was Taylor's first time doing a glitter lip, which we see a few times later down the road when she gets to Reputation. But she had seen this glitter lip done before and had never seen it in a music video, and she was stoked about it. She was like, you guys, I'm doing a glitter lip today. Guys, I'm going to have a glitter lip in this video.
It looks amazing.
She slays it.
I want to say it's not a robe. I think it's a blazer that she's wearing, or like a suit jacket, and it's just like loose on her. She's barely got it on her shoulders. You can see the lapel at one point.
Oh, okay, you're right. It has little buttons on the sleeve and stuff. I had assumed it was a robe, but that makes sense.
But it's like it's barely on her. You can see her bra.
Yeah, it barely covers. But yeah, the lights on the elevator are still fading from green to red, and she gets off the elevator and walks down the hallway. It's a very fancy hallway. You've got like lamps every few feet, kind of like a hanging light fixture from above, and a red carpet down the middle. It's really pretty. As the chorus starts, Taylor enters her room, which has the 50 Shades black mask hanging on it.
Oh, I was wondering what that was. I thought it was a room number or something.
Oh no, it's a black mask.
Yes.
Now, this is the point where I start to question if ZAYN and Taylor are really in the same place, because Taylor enters this room and she immediately turns and goes off to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And Zayn's standing, like, in the back left corner of the room, looking directly at the door, and does not even, like, it does not faze him that anyone came in. And so I wonder, are they in different places, or are they in the same place? Are they ignoring each other? I was really confused by this.
I think they're cut off from each other.
Okay. I just wasn't sure.
I think it's supposed to be, like, artistic.
Okay.
Symbolic.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Anyway, the camera pans around Zayn while he sings, and then we cut to a close-up shot of Taylor running her fingers through her hair and rolling her head around in a red strobe light. Zayn sits down on the couch and looks up at the ceiling, and we cut to an overflowing champagne glass, and as the camera pans up, we see that it's Taylor pouring this champagne glass.
I don't know if it's not a champagne flute that's tall. It's just like got a wide base.
I don't know. Wikipedia said it was champagne, so
Right.
I said, great. I don't know my drinks. That sounds like a good drink.
It looks
I'll take
expensive.
It does. It does.
Or at least maybe, or maybe it's just those Martinelli like sparkling apple cider things.
Right.
Then she starts plucking flower petals, right?
Yes. Yeah, so she's picking at a bouquet of white roses. We cut back to Zayn on the couch in a blue strobe, and when we go back to Taylor, she's on the end of a bed bench, or an end of bed bench. You know those, like, pieces they
like
put
futon
at the...
type
right,
things.
that they put at the end of
But
the bed.
now she's in a party.
Yeah, she's, like, leaning back onto the end of the bed, and there's, like, a ton of people around her, having what looks to be, like, a masquerade party.
It feels, at times, in looking at the background people, it feels a little sexual.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, a masquerade, definitely. But, like...
Yes. But everyone, yeah.
Like an illicit masquerade.
Yeah. Definitely. And Zayn, when we're cutting back to him, he is just sitting alone on the couch, looking at some pictures that we can't see.
He never shows us.
Right. And then he ends up throwing the pictures like a frisbee throw across the room. As the last chorus starts, Zayn is in blue strobes off and on, and Taylor, who is now alone, is in red strobes on and off. Zayn throws his arm across the bar cart and sends all the drinks and glasses flying. Taylor lays back on the bed with her robe open to reveal...
Her jacket open.
Right, sorry, I wrote robe. Her jacket opens to reveal her whole bra, her midsection, all...
Very lacy.
Yeah. Taylor throws a pillow. Zayn throws a glass bottle at the wall. Taylor's flipping her hair all over the place and just writhing around this bed. And it feels like an angry sexual thing.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually she does like a very sexual back arch that is... We'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot to say about all this.
Mm-hmm.
Now we see Taylor and Zed, and I almost said Zach.
And Zed.
Taylor and Zach. Oh, Zach!
Taylor and Zac Efron.
I keep saying Zach!
Special appearance, Zac Efron.
We see Taylor and Zayn standing back to back. That's why, because I said Zayn back.
Gotcha.
They're standing back to back in the same room with blue and red strobes, and we cut back and forth to shots of each of them throwing various things and just breaking everything.
Absolutely everything. It's turning into a fun house in there. It's rowdy.
Yeah. I watched a behind the scenes video.
Yeah.
And Taylor said that Grant, the director, decided to add this shot of them standing back to back at the last minute, which Taylor was super relieved by because she was really worried that people would think they were in two different places, which made me go, wait, they're not? That was the first time that I had even realized that they, like, I know that they were back to back in this shot, but I thought that was like its own thing. And then in like the quote unquote story, they're in two different places. But I guess they're in the same place the whole time.
Let's finish the synopsis, and then we'll get into what I think the story is.
Okay. Eventually, they calm down, and we see them look at each other. We end with a shot of Zayn's gorgeous eyelashes.
Ooh.
He's alone. And then a shot of Taylor sitting alone in her room, looking over her shoulder as if she's waiting for the door to open. The video then shows a poster of 50 Shades Darker, because it's obviously to promote the movie.
Yeah.
And I have to say, Taylor said that this video is all about longing and pining and tension and just kind of the struggle of missing someone who you can't have or isn't there. And I didn't get any of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
okay. No,
so that's my synopsis.
Yeah. Well. So, all right. So you were critical of their walking.
Not critical like I was like, this is the worst video ever, but I was like, why are they walking like that?
Okay. And then, but more importantly, you weren't sure if they were in the same location or not.
Yeah.
You weren't sure if they were aware of each other or if they were really alone, or what the story was.
I didn't feel like there was a story. It just felt like two people singing the whole time. You're little preaching about Park and Barks all the time.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about this video.
Okay,
I was
so-
like, that's all this video is.
Park and Barks.
Park and Bark.
With
With various shots of them destroying things.
No, I'm not trying to defend a masterpiece of cinema or artist or like songwriting. I'm not holding this up onto a pedestal at all. But this is my interpretation of the story of this music video. Is the song is I wish you'd come back home to me. I wish basically if I'm gonna live forever but you're not here, I'd rather not live forever, you know. I don't want to live forever,
right? I know that,
wishing
but
that you
like
were not
I just
here.
those are the words.
Yep.
I don't get that from the video.
And so the two of now, I don't think it's necessarily, I think the music video interpreted it in such a way as, you are here physically, I wish you were here emotionally.
Okay.
I wish you were here for me. I wish you were. And so they are in the same hotel room. Okay. Maybe they're even at the same party.
Okay.
But they're not, they aren't there for each other.
Okay.
And so that's,
I guess I could see that.
And so that's why they're in the same room, but they don't acknowledge each other.
Okay.
Now that breaks apart when at the end of it they're looking at the door, waiting for them to come in or something. Mm-hmm. But maybe that's because it wasn't fully resolved. They just are out of the height of their emotion. I don't know. I don't think that it's a masterpiece by any means, but I think it works as a music video.
Okay. Now that you say that, I can see a lot of that. I wish I could say that I disagree with you, but I can see that.
Yeah, because like like he's pining for her. He's looking at photos that I imagine are of them, you know, at a simpler time.
Right.
And she's waiting for him. Maybe he's, you know, he doesn't want to come to the party or something, or he's not. I don't know.
Right. Anyway, let's get into our scores.
Let's get into the scores. Our personal perception scores, going back to those, are I gave a 7.
I gave a 1.5.
You gave a 1.5. I could go down to 6, but
you can't change it.
I can't change it.
It's too late. That is the one rule I have on this podcast.
Okay, you can't change personal perception.
No. In fact, a lot of the time I'll watch the video, like, just on its own. I'll, like, find out what the video is. I'll go watch it and give it a personal perception and walk away from it until I'm ready to, like,
to score it. Wow, okay.
Because then I won't change it. Because then it'll be, like, days later and I'm like, oh, weird. I liked that 6 points last time. I'll give it an 8 now, but it's been 2 days, so I can't change it.
Gotcha. Okay. Going down to the song category, what did you give it the complexity and intelligence of the songwriting?
I gave this a 7.5. I can't deny that it was a well done song. Mm-hmm. Like it obviously topped charts. Yeah. It's still being played everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. I gave it a 5.
Fair enough.
For me, it follows a lot of the same tropes of pop music. That, you know, it's that song that is designed to be an earworm. And
definitely.
In that regard, I guess, yeah, it achieved its job and it's very, you know, intelligent in its design. Mm-hmm. But I don't.
Okay. Performance, I gave this an 8. I felt like vocally and otherwise, I guess, instrumentally, it was well done.
I give it an 8 as well. Is it normal for Zayn to sing so high?
I literally have not listened to anything that he's done.
Well, what about in One Direction?
I literally have no idea.
Were you not a Directioner?
I literally started the podcast by saying I was not a One Direction girl.
Oh,
No, I was never a One Direction person. I was a Beyond 5 girly. The underground
Beyond 5.
One Direction.
I vaguely remember this group.
It's like a little tiny boy band from Utah, and then they all left for Mormon missions, except for one of them because he was Jewish.
He had already had his I don't know. I was gonna say bat mitzvah, but that's not a mission at all. It's just a party.
No, I was heartbroken when they left.
Oh my.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know Zayn's voice.
You don't know Zayn's voice. Okay. Going down to expression, I gave it a 6.
I gave this an 8.
Okay. I gave it a 6 because I don't know. So
Yeah.
Yes, man. I got moved more from the video per se than from the actual song.
Okay.
And maybe it's because I've heard this song a million times already. And so it has lost its not appeal, but like its hold over me.
I tried to look at it from a new perspective. Because if I was grading this as the pop song I've heard 10 million times,
it would be ones.
But I was like, okay. Take a step back. Lyricism, I gave this a 7.5.
I give it a 3.
Really?
For lyricism. Because the song is so basic in what it says. Literally what it says.
That's true. But I feel like that's... Okay. I agree with that, but I put that score somewhere else. Okay.
For message, I gave this a 3 as well.
I gave this a 2.
Okay.
It's, like you said before, what it's saying is super basic.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the words they used weren't the worst, so that's why I gave lyrics the score I did.
Yeah.
But the overarching, like, message...
The moral,
the moral sucks.
Yeah. This is what I wrote about it. This song doesn't have much to say. And then it says it over and over again.
That's true.
It has a catchy lick, but feels shallow in most other respects.
That's true. And I wrote, I've heard this song a million times and cannot escape it. It's a retail and radio favorite, and yet I still have no idea what it's about. After having, like...
The conversation
and poured through the lyrics and whatnot, I feel like it's very pick-me. It's like, I don't want to be without you. Like, yeah. It's dumb.
Yeah, it like, I can see a world where someone, not a world, I can see a situation where someone really identifies with this song, but then I wonder, what kind of relationship are you in where you identify with them?
Right.
And should you be in that relationship?
Right. Anyway, let's go on to the video category. For cinematography.
Mm-hmm. For cinematography, I gave this a 10.
I gave it a 6.
Wow.
I felt like there weren't bad shots, but it felt like it was just a lot of filler stuff. Like, they didn't have anything to do, so let's just make the camera spin around them.
In the words of Dr. Allison Taylor Swift, and Mayer at one point, imagine any moment in your life, and wouldn't it be cooler if there was a camera spinning around you?
She's right. Because imagine how awful this video would be without the spinning around. And that is why I say...
Imagine how unimaginative it would be in Love Story for that kiss to have just been
okay, but focusing on this video...
Okay.
Imagine how bad this video would be without the spinning around constantly.
Yeah.
Because it's just filler.
And imagine how ridiculous it would look if they just showed up in their pajamas, you know, like if you take out the technique of a certain aspect of the filmmaking, then it's gonna look bad.
Okay. I don't know. I just felt like there weren't reasons for anything, in my opinion. Like it didn't seem like they were spinning because of something happening. They were just spinning to spin the whole video.
Definitely. If a video or a filmmaker is relying too heavily on a single technique, it gets old and it stops losing. It loses its worth, because it's being used so often. So in that regard, yeah, definitely the overspinning, it is annoying. But I don't think it is to a detriment in this video, personally.
I don't think it's a detriment either, but I didn't feel like there were any like inspiring.
I give it a 10. I was thoroughly impressed with the framing of each shot, of most of the shots.
Okay.
There was plenty in the foreground. There was interesting aspects in the background, with nearly every single shot, and the spin around the elevator, that was a really cool idea.
I did like that.
And additionally, the transition from each of there are two transitions in particular that between the perspectives of Taylor and ZAYN that I found interesting. It's the two transitions that there are, where it's in the elevator, you see ZAYN, one continuous shot, and it is then Taylor. And then the other shot of her entering the hotel room, and it transitions to ZAYN's perspective. I thought those were cool, and it was a smooth, fluid, like, now we're moving on to a different perspective rather than just a hard, like, a cut.
I think something that would have made me enjoy the video more is if I had some shots that weren't up close, because most of our shots were right in their space. I feel like if there had been some more, I don't know what you call them, shots where you could see more of the background, see what's going on around them, so that it feels less like just I'm watching Taylor and ZAYN and I'm now like a part of their story. I think maybe I would have enjoyed that.
Okay. More. Sort of like a like seeing her walk down the hallway, but like from farther away.
Yeah, or she's alone in the room, or maybe they're in the same room. It doesn't matter, but a more isolating shot, or like a shot from further away, could have made it seem more like she feels alone, rather than being right up in her space.
I think that could have been fair.
Anyway, so let's
going on to color.
Yeah, I give this a 5.
Okay. I also give this a 10.
Okay.
Why didn't you like the color?
I just didn't feel, and now that you've kind of talked through, like, maybe what
the green and red might be.
Yeah,
I still
can
have
see it.
I don't have much of a idea of what blue is yet.
And I just felt like it was more filler. Like, they were like, what can we do here? Oh, let's throw in a fun color. You know what I mean? Like, red obviously makes sense, but blue and green made it confusing and weird to me, and it didn't really feel necessary, in my opinion.
I think that in the elevator, it definitely helped convey to me the swaying of emotion, I think.
Okay.
And I also really appreciated the effort that they went through to put that color into the set. I think it's intentional. I don't think it's a like, oh, what color should we use now?
Okay.
I don't think they were like, oh, let's just turn on the red lights,
I'll also say a lot of the video, it wasn't like a warm video, but the colors were very warm until you got to the blue and the green, and the
green was there from the beginning.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
But they were just there, and they didn't match anything else. So you're probably right. There probably was a reason that they chose those colors. And if I knew that reason, maybe I'd give it a different score. But they didn't feel cohesive to me.
Okay. I liked them. Going on to editing.
I gave editing a 6.
I gave it a 9. I loved the, you called it the strobe effect, where it cuts to them and it's like a... I thought that was really cool.
I don't know, like, it just felt like there were a lot of cuts that I didn't want. I wanted to just stay where I was. I don't know. I just didn't like the cuts, the fast cuts. But you're gonna make fun of me later when we record the next episode, because you're gonna go, you said you didn't like the fast cuts. This is different.
This is different. This isn't Taylor's song.
No, it's different because there's... maybe there is a meaning. I didn't catch the meaning.
There doesn't have to be a meaning either.
Yeah. But
it could just be that it looks good, you know?
But I didn't think it did. That's the thing.
Okay.
Costume, what would you give?
All right, so this is a complicated one.
Yeah.
I give it a 6.5.
Yeah.
I could give it higher because it's doing what they set out to do. Mm-hmm. But I take issue with what they're setting out to do. This is what I wrote. Zayn being all dressed up and proper, and Taylor being objectified as a sex symbol feels incredibly sexist. Especially because at Taylor's masquerade party thing, everyone else is dressed appropriately. And proper and sleek.
And Taylor's just in a bra.
Yeah, she's incredibly sexy. And they did their job well as the costume
department. And she looks great.
But I take issue with the fact that she's sexualized and he isn't. Mm-hmm. Unless him breaking stuff is sexualizing him.
No, not at all.
Not sexualizing, but like the like sensual, you know, like that's
if they had well, no, because she breaks stuff too.
It's true.
And if they had wanted to sexualize him, why not put him in a thong? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
why was he wearing clothes?
I haven't seen 50 Shades of Grey, but I don't think that Mr. Grey wears a thong.
Well, that's not my point. My point is, if they wanted to sexualize him,
why
could have.
Why don't they take his shirt off or something like that?
Right.
Yeah. It makes sense because it's a song for 50 Shades Darker, but that doesn't necessarily make it right.
Right.
And this is also going to be talked about in my direction score.
I gave the costume a 7. I would have given it higher because they both looked amazing.
Yeah.
And especially Taylor, she looked phenomenal. But I had the same issues. I felt like it was a very misogynistic take, and maybe we're just missing something because we haven't seen 50 Shades. But I still feel like I agree with what you say. Like, it doesn't make it right. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
For scenic design, I gave it a straight 10.
I gave it an 8.
Okay. I
think I have the same thing where if I had seen a little bit more of it, I think I would have liked it more.
Yeah.
But it was all background stuff, and so
yeah, I think,
couldn't appreciate it.
I think this hotel is beautiful.
It is beautiful,
and I loved what they added to it. I mean, the so I've been talking about the green and red. Mm-hmm. They have all these red lamps around.
Yeah.
But not just that. They the windows behind the bar are green.
I missed that.
The elevator was a simple thing that was lit up with color changing LEDs, and it was simple, but it was effective it's something I really liked. The room, beautiful, all of it. I thought that it was a phenomenal set piece.
I felt like it was disjointed.
In my head, in the story, they are together the entire time physically, but they are separate emotionally. And so it's the two of them walking out of the car together, going through the paparazzi, going through the lobby's hotel into the elevator. Mm-hmm. And in the elevator is the first time that they're away from the public eye. And that's when the lights go crazy, is when they're like able to be a little bit more themselves, I guess. Able to show their emotion a little bit more.
Okay, I could see that.
That's my interpretation of what's going on in the music video. Mm-hmm. It's I wouldn't say it's canon, but
right.
What'd you give for performance?
I gave an 8. I felt like Zayn's lip syncing was the downfall.
Yeah, I give it a 7. I mentioned this earlier in the episode. He was a little bit too stiff or stoic or whatnot. It felt disjointed from the...
Especially the further in you get. Like, when Taylor's, like, on the bed and stuff, she's writing feeling it.
Yeah.
And you're cutting to Zayn, who's on the couch, and he's looking at these pictures, and he's blank face, and he throws the pictures, and he's blank face, and he's, you know, and it's all very stiff.
Yeah.
Direction, I gave this a 3. I didn't like the direction they went with this. I didn't get any of the symbolism. I didn't like most of the choices, and Yeah, so I gave it a 3.
I gave the direction a 6. Because my biggest gripe with the direction is Taylor's sexualization, which is big. The rest of it, I really enjoyed. This is what I wrote. This music video is well constructed, works with what little it had from the song, and has phenomenal cinematography and use of color, but it fails when it comes to social integrity and fair and respectful representation of women. And, to a degree, men. In my opinion, these flaws run right to the core of the IP the song is tied to, so I'm not surprised when some of the same issues arise from other creative projects associated with 50 Shades. But they didn't have to be there, and that is the reason for my low score.
Okay, well, let's jump into our Afterglow points. For personal perception bonus, I have a -1 because I gave lower than a 3 for my personal perception. And Daniel has a +1 because he gave a 7.
Yes.
So that puts us at a net 0. For callbacks,
I didn't have any.
I didn't have any.
I guess there's the 50 Shades mask on the door. That might be a nice callback.
I guess, yeah. I guess we could consider that.
I think that's clear since it's shown later.
Yeah.
Is it cohesive?
I don't know that it is. It's just kind of there.
Is it clever?
No, it's
not
just
really.
there.
Hey, it's kind of like a sock on the door, maybe.
Yeah, but they're not doing anything.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would give it the clear point.
Okay, it's clear. So that's a +1 for that.
Play points. I didn't give this any play points.
So I gave it a +1 play point for Sexy Taylor, and I gave it a -1 play point for only Sexy Taylor.
I thought about giving it minus points for Taylor's sexualization, but then I was like, I hate to say it, but I liked how she looked.
Yeah.
And so I probably would have done the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like, +1 for her sexy looks, -1 for her sexy looks.
Yeah, it's I mean, yeah, Taylor Swift is being sexualized, but she agreed to the contract. She didn't pull herself out of it when she saw her costume, whatnot. So should we be upset about that? Was she in a position of being able to decide for herself when that happened or whatnot? I don't know. And it's complicated. And by me at least, criticizing her sexualization, I'm kind of just, blanket saying this kind of is wrong. But to some people, being sexualized is an amount of freedom,
Well, and I think that's fair, and I think being sexualized isn't a bad thing, but in media, women are so often sexualized, and men are very rarely sexualized.
Yeah.
And that's more the issue that I take with this, is that this is just another place for women to be looked down upon in a way, I guess. Not that being sexualized is being looked down upon, but...
Yeah.
Our last Afterglow point is how well does the video benefit the song? And this can be plus or minus up to 2 points.
Can I just read you what I wrote here?
Yes.
I don't write much, just when it feels important. The song bugged me since it was played constantly on the radio. The video freshened it up a lot. But if I'm being completely honest, I still don't think I like the song terribly much. I just like the video. So I say it heavily benefits the song. 1 or 2.
I gave this 0 to -2. I didn't write anything down, so I don't really have thoughts prepared for it. But I don't feel like it added anything new. I am bored with the song. I was bored by the video.
Okay. So it's a net 0.
It's a net 0.
Okay.
It didn't present any new information for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, then let's leave it at 0.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, then that puts us at... I have a 90.5 out of 130 with 1 Afterglow point.
I have 77.5 out of 130 with +1 Afterglow point.
And that's a 69.
Mine's a 59.
Percent. And yours is 59%.
69 for 50 Shades.
There we go.
Anyway, let's hurry into our suggestions.
Yeah, let's get through this real quick. Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So my song is it has no relation to this. It's called The National Express by the Divine Comedy. I don't remember when it was released.
Divine Comedy, like Studio C Divine Comedy?
No. It's a band.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
The Studio C is a BYU comedy troupe, sketch
And
comedy
they
troupe.
used to be called Divine Comedy.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Before they were like
Before they were big.
Before they were Studio C, they were Divine
interesting.
Comedy.
I had no idea. All right,
Yeah.
never. I guess because it's BYU.
It was
it's
before they
all
were like a
religious.
TV show. They did
Yeah.
they did music videos and parodies and stuff.
I
and they were
see.
Divine Comedy. And then BYU picked them up as a TV show, and so then they were.
So they
Studio C.
weren't through BYU.
Well, they were, but
They were like just a student group.
they were just a student group.
Okay, doesn't matter. This song, "The National Express," it's this comedic song parodying the experience of flying on an airplane. I'm certain that I've shown it.
I'm
to
sure
you.
you have.
It's the bum bum ba dum bum bum ba dum 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 da dum dum.
I'm sure you've shown it to me, but I don't remember it. But anyway.
Anywho, in my film, all right, so this one does relate to our music video.
Uh-huh.
Since we're doing a music video from a mature film, I think also just a TV show more on the mature side. This one's called Love, Death, and Robots. And this is one of the first things I showed Katie, which maybe
It was like our second time hanging out, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Can I show you something?" And I was like, "Oh my god, this is so much."
It was one of those nights where we stayed up until like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Sharing things, or at least I shared all of my things, and then Katie had just sat there and listened.
But I was so infatuated with you that I did not care.
Yeah. Anyway, Love, Death, and Robots is an anthology series of short sci-fi stories using various styles of animation, like CGI or cartoon or anime or whatnot. There are so many good stories, but I'll describe 3 of my favorites. Each of these feature aspects that would not be safe for work. So I'll list them with who I'd be comfortable sharing them with, as well as any applicable trigger warnings, because some of them feature very heavy content.
Yeah.
So I would happily show my parents this one episode called When the Yogurt Took Over.
I love that one.
Yeah.
That was the first one you showed me. And it was...
I showed it to you. That specific one was the one I showed you for a reason, because it's the most, like, approachable.
Yeah, and listen, it's a really good one, and I think everyone should go watch that one. But don't be misled.
No,
it's very different than the rest of
It's very different. This episode is a comedy about a sentient bowl of yogurt that promises to fix all the world's problems and proceeds to do so. This, along with another story, Ice Age, are probably the cleanest and most family-friendly of the whole series. One that I would be comfortable showing to my siblings is called Jibaro. That's how I've always been saying it. It might be Jibaro, or it's spelled Jibaro.
Okay.
I think it's in another language. But there's no dialogue in this, which I think is really cool. It's a story of a siren who lures men to drown in her lake, meeting a deaf soldier who is, I guess, immune to her maddening wail. This one's wonderful because all it uses is sound. I would say trigger warning for blood and gore and sexual assault. And then another one that I would only be willing to show my closest friends is called Good Hunting. It's about a monster hunter's son in China adapting to English colonialism and that colonialism's effect on his society and the natural magic of his country. He learns to become a tinkerer or whatnot, working on trains and things like that. It's beautiful. It's content warning for nudity, violence and gore, and rape.
Does that one have xenophobia?
Very much xenophobia. Yeah, racism. Check it out. It's not for the faint of heart. And I think it's some phenomenal storytelling. There are some duds in there, but plenty of them are very good.
Yeah. Well, now that we've done the really heavy suggestions,
Yeah.
I have some really lighthearted ones.
Good.
For my song, don't laugh at me. My song is "Who I'd Be" from Shrek the Musical.
Oh yeah.
I've tweeted this before, and I think it's the most accurate thing I've ever tweeted, but I feel like Shrek the Musical is the me of the theater world. Like, theater kids are like, I hate it! And I'm like, but it's so good and I love it so much. But whether or not you like this musical, I think Who I'd Be is a standout, and that everyone can enjoy this song. That moment where Fiona goes into the little hut or whatever, and we find out that she's an ogre, and Donkey's in there with her. Shrek has a conversation with Donkey when he comes back out.
Yeah.
Where he talks about what he would be if he wasn't an ogre.
I see.
And it's very touching. It's one that I feel like everyone can relate to in some sense. For me, a lot of the time it's been as a queer person, I feel like it's very relatable.
Yeah.
For other people, it might just be like aspirations that you hope that someday you can achieve or whatever, but it's beautiful.
Is that on Netflix? Or
it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to watch all of Shrek the musical, you can watch it there. Otherwise, I'd say just listen to it. My film suggestion is the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Nice.
Me and Daniel went and saw this in theaters the week it came out, and I actually really enjoyed it. And not that I thought I wouldn't, but I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. By the time this episode comes out, this movie will be old news, but
Very old news.
but I had to suggest it. It was funny, it was campy, it touched on a lot of aspects of the Mario universe, and it was overall a movie I think people of any age can enjoy. My two favorite parts about this movie were a song called Peaches that if you're on TikTok, I'm sure you've seen, but I won't say much about it in case you don't want it to be spoiled.
It was a magical moment when
it was a magical moment that Daniel missed because he was in the
I wasn't getting bathroom. I was getting more popcorn. Yeah. I was getting you more popcorn.
Sorry. I always think of that time we went to Puss in Boots and you left for the whole movie to go to the bathroom.
Hey, it was a very important, very necessary.
Oh, I don't blame you. We'd already seen it. And then the other part of the Mario movie that I loved, and it was by far my favorite, was the soundtrack. They did such a good job of using the different Mario themes.
Yeah, and it's not just themes. It's like different sound effects from very, very niche Mario properties. It's
right, and they always fit the scenes, and it's not like they're just like playing it straight from the
it's games. Like an orchestrated version.
Yeah, it made me really happy, and I was always like, oh, I know this one.
I'm sure there are countless YouTube videos about like they used this little like riff from this specific like golf game or something like that.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. But anyway, those are my suggestions.
I think that's the episode. Thank you so much for listening.
Next time we'll be taking a look at I Bet You Think About Me.
So be sure to check that out. If you love listening to our show, please leave a rating or review on whatever platform you're listening on to help our show be seen by more people.
You can find our scores for every music video we've discussed on our website listed in the description of this episode, and you can follow us at OSOF Podcast on all social media platforms.
Thanks again for listening. I am Daniel Francis.
And I'm Katie Ludlow, and this has been Our Songs,
Our Films.